Iced tea. Go ahead.
So what are your thoughts about that when you imagine like the deepest level of marriage and commitment?
At that point, it's just partnership.
Just partnership.
I think that like it gets to the point like sometimes we just make better sense as partners, and like people think partners they automatically associate that with romantic partners. Like no, like if you get to that point where it's like whatever you do is what you do. People have marriages that's like that, and it works because they have other foundational elements that keep them together. Like we got this mortgage together, we got these 6 kids. It's like our happiness ain't in this relationship no more. We
got our
understand
careers
that
together,
careers, but we no longer are here for happiness. So our happiness is outside the house. Could I be in that dynamic? I'm not. I don't think so. Flat out, no. But it's like I'm an open-minded. Anything you never know. 7, 8, 15 years from now, you don't never know. But because the nigga might be 15 years, he tired of hitting anyway. I don't give a fuck. Like you happy? Just don't say shit to me. I'm not gonna do me. So I can see how it can get to that. But me personally, I wouldn't enter into a situation with that in mind. But I'm also open-minded enough to know that when situations present itself, you got to explore every option. Like it might be cheaper to keep her. Like when people hear it's cheaper to keep her, they not understanding what that means. It means that the divorce will cost you more than just staying in the fucking marriage. So if it's cheaper to keep her, like before I'm sitting here paying spousal support and alimony and all this other shit and paying for lawyers and all that, you know what? Just do you and I'm gonna do me and just don't let the kids find out and don't let this shit be public. I don't give a fuck if you fucking with Jeff down the street and I'm fucking with Ashley over there. It's like this shit and everything. And when they come, we all friends. Like, but I can see how that can happen, but I can't speak from it because I never experienced it. And at the same time, I can't see myself doing it. But I could see like, because I believe that, relationships, in my relationship I was in, like I'm hearing some thick and thin shit. Like it's like marriage experience, haven't been married yet. But when talking about relationship, I got over 15 years of relationship experience in total. So it's like, it's not like I'm a nigga that didn't have long-term relationships. No, like, and my relationships have operated like a marriage where like we live together, we're doing these things, we have kids, like not together, but kids are in this involved, dynamic. Yeah. Or I have kids and you don't, but you are acting as a stand-in mom. And it's like, it's always like that. So it's like having that experience is like, you don't never want to be in a household with somebody and they go outside and fuck somebody else. Like I'm not cool with that. But like I said, to each his own. Some people probably get old head, OG, probably 15 years in. I'm like, I don't even fuck what she do. Long as she don't say nothing to me when I'm watching the game. Like she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. And I remember when Steph Curry parents divorced. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, damn, they was together for 40 years. You can't go nowhere. We got for 40 years and we married. Like, unless something crazy happens. Like,
we just gotta fuck it.
Bury us. It's done. We not getting. We fucking birth Steph Curry. Yo, we locked in together. It's done. It's over. Like, no, like, or even Judge Matthew. We talking about that on the episode. Like, 50 years, nigga, we ain't fucking divorced.
It's like it's not so. But we also talked about how many of those years is quality.
True.
So it's like I think that when people start to really understand life, they start to search for quality experiences.
For sure.
I do think that social media has made people overstimulated and thinking that relationships should always be happy, and that's not realistic. Like you gotta have happy moments, but it's just like your day-to-day life. The way I see it is, if you can get your relationship in routine, where it's like Monday through Friday, not literally but metaphorically speaking, we just have a routine. Right. But these 2 days out the week, we have some excitement. I think that a relationship could be, because that's how I sustained. A relationship can be sustainable when your expectations is knowing that we gotta handle these responsibilities most of the time, but every now and again we're gonna pop out and have some fun. But what's tending to happen is people are being sold a lifestyle and the perception of happiness is always present in relationships. And happiness is not always present. Love and respect should always be present, but happiness is a fleeting thing. It's like some days you could be unhappy while being rich. You could be unhappy while being happy in a relationship. Happiness is fleeting. It comes and goes. So when people think that this partner should always make them happy, or that the moment that they're not happy, that they should be trying to find something new, that's where the overstimulation come in at, because it's like y'all now looking at a situation where it's like the moment it's not fun, I'm out. The moment it's not happy, I'm out. Where it's like nobody is building through the bullshit. And that's the difference between my first relationship and my last relationship. It's like the amount of patience that it takes to be able to sustain. That's why I respect you for having a 10-year relationship. Not because I couldn't do it, but because I didn't do it. And the fact that you actually did it, I don't look at it and be like, oh, well, I could do it. It's like, no, nigga, you did it. And I think that people who do the shit that should have been done is here. Like, in flat out, I respect when I say here, I'm talking about respect. It's like, I respect, but it's like, how many of them is enjoyable? Right. So if you got 10 years and it's not enjoyable, it's like, nigga, fuck you. You're just wasting time. Right. But if you actually still about to get married, it's like, oh, no. So whatever happened, y'all still here. All right, yeah, you got my respect no matter how many relationships I've been in, no matter what. You got my respect because you put the time in. So I say all that to say, getting all the way back to it, is when people think about it, it's like, y'all looking at it like, all right, I should always be happy. And then y'all end up on one sad day, and then y'all trying to find happiness in somebody else. And that's why the relationships is on bullshit. But in reality, if you go into it knowing like, 80% of the time is going to be regular. 20% of the time is going to be exciting. Matter of fact, I'll say 70% of the time is going to be regular. 20% of the time it's gonna be exciting, 10% of the time it's gonna be bullshit.
Right.
But the 10% of the bullshit, it can't outweigh the 70% of regular. But because the regular is neutral, the 10% seems more. 10% seems like 80. Because it's like, we really not doing nothing. And then 10% of the time we arguing, so the 20 don't seem like enough. Whole time you discrediting the neutralness of 70 of just coexisting. And I think that when we think about even male friendships versus like women friendships, it's like, men, we can just coexist. It's like, literally, I can just sit next to you, I'm playing the game, we just coexist. It's like, it's not, they don't have to be excited. It's just like, we're just coexisting. But when you having your romantic relationship with your woman, it's like a kid. I'm bored. So it's like you gotta constantly be entertaining, constantly be performing, constantly be doing these things to keep them aroused. Yeah. But it's like that's where the overstimulation comes from. That's why I think that when people are, you think social media ruin relationships, I don't think it ruin relationships by way of what expose people to, other than the overstimulation. Like people think that motherfucker go on a trip and say, "What's next?" No different than my kids just having a full Christmas and my daughter telling me the next day I'm bored. I say, "What? You bored with what? All them fucking shit you just got." It's like, I ain't saying you got 1,000 gifts, but it's like, you still got enough to get you through the week. Like, why are you calling me the 26?
24 hours.
Yeah, at least 24 hours later. But that's how it be. So I'll be like, oh yeah, you took me on a trip, but what's next? Oh, you took me, it's like, oh, we had a wedding, what's next? So it's like, they always looking for those next moments to pop out. And it's like, you got to keep recreating them, or they bored. And that's why they tend to chase different experiences. Same thing with men, where it's like, they overstimulate about how much pussy they get. So it's like, oh, nah, I want to fuck her. I want to fuck her. One is not enough. But it's like, it could be if you put more time into your purpose. And it's like, I'm not a nigga that say, oh, force yourself into monogamy. I'm not that guy. I'm a nigga that say, do what makes you happy, but that doesn't hurt somebody else. But the other side of it is, nigga, I'm so focused on purpose that I don't have time to fuck 20 women. It's not that I wouldn't if I could, it's that I don't have time. So I busied myself in a way that removed that from being an option. And now it's like me getting pussy from, see, even when I'm dating one chick, maybe entertaining multiple, but I'm typically dating one chick at a time. And it's like, I'm fucking you. So the once a week, twice a week should be cool, because the rest of the time I'm focused on making this paper and building this shit that we building. So it's like, I don't got time to be entertaining you. Y'all waste of time. Like, y'all a distraction. But if you don't have that sense of purpose back in your play, then this is why you got too much time to just pursue and chase women. And there's no shortage in slight into how many women you can get. Like, niggas think like, I'm like, if you're measuring your success on how many women you can get or the level of the women you can get, you ain't got no real purpose as a man. And I'm not saying this to pander or to be on the women's side. I'm saying this on some man-to-man shit. It's like, nigga, like, what is you really doing in the world with yourself that's really actually adding to the world or creating value or leaving a legacy or adding impact? Because like, fucking women is easy. We all could do that. Like, there's no shortage of horny women, and there's a shortage of men that can supply them. So you can always be in demand, but what are you really doing that's really making you a man? You feel what I'm saying? And I kind of just like, leave it there for real. The liquor kicking in.
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you did the 70, 20, 10?
Yeah, ever. I made that shit up on the spot.
No, that was one of those.
Oh damn, appreciate it, my boy. That was a joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even be knowing. He was it. I'm a philosophizer. I'm a philosophizer. How the fuck you say this shit? Yeah. I'm a philosophizer.
No, because really, what you sound like, that's a great way to put relationship dynamics. Yeah. Like, because I always look at stuff like, the age old saying 80-20.
Yeah.
If, 20% shit, you can't find someone that's 100% perfect with it. Yeah. But as long as they at least like an 80 percentile, you can do it to 20%. Yeah. But the relationship dynamic is probably gonna float between the 70-80% as long as we can coexist,
we coasting,
we stable, and then there's gonna be 20% of excitement, and then but it's gonna be 10% bullshit because we human.
100%.
We gonna clash. You gonna know me, I'm gonna annoy you.
100%.
Shit gonna blow up.
Shit. As long as you don't blow the shit up, you good.
Right.
Shit gonna happen. It's like expecting it not to. It's delusional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And that's funny. I was on a pod and they asked me like, how was I able? Like, when you go into a problem, like I was like, see, for me, it was knowing that once you take certain things off the table, like I knew that I wasn't trying to break up, so that automatically puts you on how can we fix this mode, and then having patience to know that it might not get fixed on night one, and being able to lay next to a person knowing that the issue wasn't resolved right then and there, but it has to eventually be resolved. So I'm willing to wait a week. What's a week of some little chaos to a lifetime of being together? And I feel like that's where people think that, how much time you need to process. However much time it take, if you planning on being together forever, what's 3 months of some bullshit to a life of forever? So it's like, you can't expect shit to just happen like this and be fixed. It's like, no, let shit really process. Let it run its course. If we pour fucking mud in this cup, you got to run clean water in this cup for a very long time to get the mud out. But if you plan on having a cup forever, if it took fucking 2 hours to do. Who gives a fuck? You plan on keeping it forever. But so many people be so quick to run away from the situation. The moment is not fun no more. The moment is not happy no more. That when it's that 10% of bullshit, they attaching it to the 70 of coasting, and now it look like it's 80% bullshit because they never give you the credit for the fact that what about the times we just don't argue at all?
Right.
It's like we either having fun or we arguing. What about all the other days where it's just chill?
That we're able to coexist.
We able to just coexist.
Like,
We're just like we ain't too high, too low. It's just a regular day. Like we need credit for the regular days as well because there's going to be more regular days than spectacular days. Like extraordinary, which is extraordinary, is not something you should fucking expect every fucking day. Like you just think shit life gonna be extraordinary. So now you're going from nigga to nigga to nigga, woman to woman to woman, looking for this extraordinary experience when the whole time you could have had a coasting moment where you could have had extraordinary moments with the person, which is more monumental, in my opinion.